Did they spend too much money? Will there be a backlash among some Republicans about how much they threw money into what was a lost cause, frankly, 3 months ago?
Yeah, no, Chuck, I think that's very astute. This was a net money suck. There's no doubt about it. At a time when Republicans need to be hoarding
Mike, I'm going to have to
money.
stop you here. Al Franken and Mrs. Franken coming out to cheers.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Franny and I are so thrilled that we can finally celebrate this victory. And I am so excited to finally be able to get to work for the people of Minnesota. I received a very gracious call from Senator Coleman a little while ago. He wished me well, I wished him well, and we agreed that it is time to bring this state together. Over the last 8 months, as the nation has watched this all unfold in this state, Minnesotans have earned the right to take pride in the transparency and the thoroughness of our process and in the integrity of our election officials. But during the same period, Minnesota families have continued to face real challenges. So even though Franny and I are thrilled and honored by the faith that Minnesotans have placed in me, I'm also humbled, not just by the closeness of this election, but by the enormity of the responsibility that comes with this office. We have a lot of work to do in Washington, but that's why I signed up for the job in the first place. When we started this campaign way back in February of 2007, I said that Americans have never backed away from tough challenges, and Minnesotans have always led the way. Working with our fantastic senior Senator Amy Klobuchar, I'm going to fight hard to make quality health care accessible and affordable to all Minnesotans, to make sure that our kids have an education that prepares them for a 21st century economy, to make Minnesota the epicenter of a new renewable energy economy that frees us from our dependence on foreign oil, to restore our standing in the world and put people to work here at home. To those Minnesotans who worked for me, volunteered for me, voted for me, I can't tell you how grateful I am. When you win an election this close, you know that not one bit of effort went to waste. And to those who devoted their time and energy to supporting Senator Coleman, I can only imagine how hard these past months have been. But no matter whether you voted for me or for Senator Coleman or for Senator Barkley or whether you voted at all, I want the people of Minnesota to know that I'm ready to work for all of you, that I'm committed to being a voice for all Minnesotans in the U.S. Senate. I know there's been a lot of talk about the fact that when I'm sworn in, I'll be the 60th member of the Democratic caucus, but that's not how I see it. The way I see it, I'm not going to Washington to be the 60th Democratic senator. I'm going to Washington to be the second senator from the state of Minnesota, and that's how I'm going to do this job. I promise to do my best, to work hard, to stand on principle when I believe I must, and yes, to compromise when I believe that that is in the best interest of the people of Minnesota. So on behalf of Franny and our beautiful kids, Joe and Thomason, let me say thank you to the people of Minnesota for your patience, for your thoughts and prayers, and for giving me the opportunity to work for you in Washington. I can't wait to get started. Now we'll take a few questions. Thank you.
When do you expect to have the election certificate in hand and get sworn in? How difficult is it going to be to come in so much later than everybody else?
Well, I can't tell you exactly when I'll be seated, but I think it'll be early next week. and it'll be coming in mid-session will be more difficult than having started January 6th, I'm sure. But I've been trying to keep abreast of what's been going on, and I'll do the best I can.
Senator-elect, can you tell us, describe the moment Norm Coleman called and essentially conceded the race to you after nearly 8 months of anguish and frustration. Describe what that moment was like, knowing you were going to become a U.S. Senator.
It was really, it was a very gracious call, I must say. He said it was a very hard-fought campaign. I said, Norm, it couldn't have been closer. And I said to him, that Franny and I can only imagine what this is like for him and his family. And he just said, this is going to be the best job you'll ever have.
And you agree, I take it?
I hope it's the best job I ever had. Yes, I think it will be.
But describe that moment when the weight of all this was finally off your shoulders.
And there you heard from Senator-elect Franken.
Well,
he himself speculates that he'll be
You're right.
getting
I don't know if it really
sworn in sometime early next week.